Right, so a little video about something which we are planning on doing this year. You may have heard, or you may have watched the video this came up in the video of my sort of New Year's resolutions. I think it might have even been a blog, certainly the Solstice Review, that we're going to do another church search like the one we did in 2008. First of all, my brief history of me. I was brought up Christian by my parents, both of which are Christian, but they're sort of converts. They're not. They weren't brought up in it, and they were successful enough to convert my grandparents as well. One of my sisters is Christian, the other is not really. I am. We were all brought up in Lincoln, and we were taken to St George's Church in Swallowbeck, where I had my infant baptism, and where I spent the first 18 years of my life there. Following that, I went to Bradford University. Found myself in a minority. I'd already become a Christian on my own faith after sort of temporarily losing it for a year in 1997 after the death of one of my grandparents. So having got it back, I started with several churches. There was Sherborne Road Community Church, where I became a veteran of the Alpha course. And there was also the Anglican chaplaincy there that I was heavily involved with. I was involved with the Methodist chaplaincy there. I knew the Catholic chaplain because he was actually on my course. And I was involved a little bit in Church of the Harvest, which was an American Pentecostal church. During my time off in Harrogate, I was involved with the Society of Friends, the Quakers here in Harrogate, a little bit involved with the West Park United Reformed Church, and also with the Unitarians. So you could say that 3 years at Bradford and here in Harrogate was where I sort of sorted myself out and basically did my searching, my denominational searching. I decided that I didn't like Pentecostalism, and I was probably really suited to more high church than low church. For a while I was a Universalist, and that's why I sort of was with the Unitarians, but that sort of changed a little bit. My main problem with that was not wanting to believe that anybody was lost. Anyway, after university I moved down to St Paul's Cathedral. I joined the lay community there, which was a sort of religious community that worked in the cathedral, lived together, and also had worship commitments and study commitments as well. That was an intense time, both good and bad. And when I left there and moved back up to Harrogate, I didn't go to church between 2005 and 2008. From 2006 I did have spiritual input, and it really came from one of the online forums that I was involved with, and which I still am involved with, in fact. And it was people on there in 2008 who challenged me to looking at some of the churches in my area between the start of Lent and the end of Easter, and to try and find a church to go to. And I had a look at a load of them, and it was when I first got this camera, and after each one I would recap it and I would host it on my YouTube profile. Now you won't find it now because I went through and I deleted them all at a time when I thought you had the YouTube account had you know, a maximum number. But never mind, because I'm doing it all again now, and the reason for this is that I settled on Christ Church on the Stray as my church back in 2008, and it was in the middle of an interregnum, and they have since got a proper minister there, and although I used to go quite a lot, I now find that he is a universalist, just like I was, and it's not where I am, and I can no longer feel like I can sort of get anything out of that. So I'm going to start looking again at churches in the area, and I'm going to report back to you each week. Now some weeks this won't happen, and this is because my sister is getting married in June, and she's getting married at Christ Church, and if she wants to go to church, because she lives in Leeds and she comes across especially for it, on odd weekends, when she does that I am prepared to give up going to a different church and go back to Christ Church just for that particular week to support her. So we were going to start this week, in fact, with going to Harrogate Town Baptist Church, but she's just phoned me to say that she's going and she would like me to be there, so I'm going to Christ Church this week. So I thought I'd do a little explanational video so that you know sort of where I'm coming from and what to expect in the next couple of weeks. We'll also be recording, doing a sort of Bible Online recitation over the next sort of year or so. We're going to start with Psalms very shortly, and so that's something else that sort of we've been wanting to do for quite some time, that might have come up in our resolutions video, might have come up in the winter solstice video. But that's something that we're also going to do, so look out for that.